Hey guys, welcome back to another advanced recap. This is what you missed this week in the Beaver Lodge Hockey League. So let's look at trades that happened in the previous schedule period. First, we seen a trade between Colorado and the Edmonton Oilers. Colorado required defenseman Lindholm, Sorella, and an Edmonton 2017 second for Brodin and Provorov. We've got LA Dog calling in. Who do you think won this trade?
Well, high-end players are usually the main focus of trades in the league right now after the fantasy draft because most teams are really even, and so the main way to get ahead of the competition is by improving the top end of your team, and so I think that's what Colorado was going for here because Brodin and Lindholm on the surface seem even, being 87 overall defensemen, but Lindholm has a much better chance of growing in the offseason
Mm-hmm.
as a 4.5 yellow who grew in the last offseason.
Yeah.
Still a decent chance of not growing, so it can still blow up in his face. But even then, getting Sorella and an Edmonton second rounder, that's about even with Provorov. So I think I'd say Colorado gets the better end of this deal. But at the same time, Provorov, um, although he's a 4.5 yellow, he doesn't usually grow as well as some of the other 4.5 yellows. So I think Edmonton's mostly going for the individual stats of Provorov. Edmonton Nada being, more knowledgeable about individual stats and how players grow. Um, so yeah, I think he picked up Provorov more to flip him. Um,
Yeah,
and
for sure. Sorry.
Sorella is like a younger guy that's like a long term asset. So I think he wanted a more ready to go kind of guy that's easier to move. So yeah, I think it's overall a really smart trade on both ends
Just a win-win, hey?
for the most part.
Yeah,
They both get what they want.
Edmonton is definitely already shopping around Provorov, so I'd expect him
Exactly.
to be moved in the near future. Um,
And definitely a guy worth targeting. He's a young guy that'll be around for a long time, and like I said, the individual stats really shine.
yeah. All right. Second trade that happened in this last schedule advance. Center
This one's
Gergensen.
really interesting because I think yeah, it's Center Gergensen's going from the Islanders to the Hurricanes. Sorry for interrupting you.
No
And then
worries.
Ryan Strome over to the Islanders. I know that Rosario has had Strome in the past and really likes him.
Rosario is the
Um,
general manager of the New York Islanders.
right, and a big thing to consider, and we're going to come back to this later, is that again you can look at four green stars. The players are about even, right? But Ryan Strome did not grow in the offseason, and that means that it's extremely unlikely that he'll grow again. But Gergensen's did grow in the offseason to get to 85. So it's very possible that Gergensen's grows. Well, it's near impossible that Strome does.
Yeah.
So, surface level in that sense, Gergensen's is worth more. But I know that Rosario personally really loves Strome's individual stats. Strome's very, very fast, got solid offensive stats. Um, and Gergensen's more of a two-way forward. So I think that's the Islanders' kind of perspective on the trade. And Carolina gets an all-around potential for a better player in the near future as like a 87, 88 overall, very possible. So
Hmm.
they both gain out of the trade for sure. Once again, a saw off.
Yeah, it's just another even trade. That's kind of what you see with these experienced general managers.
Exactly.
They do. They know what they're doing. They've been around the block. Here's a big one. Right wing Vladimir Tarasenko fetched a massive return in Voracek, Burmistrov, Schultz, and Grabner. What are your thoughts on this
Right.
one?
I think the team that gets the best player usually wins. And I think New Jersey definitely got the best player here. That's not to say that Winnipeg didn't get a fair return. I know Voracek is very, very good in this game, and he's not particularly old either. He's 27 years old. Tarasenko, I think, is 23. Tarasenko actually might not be done growing. He could grow to like a 95, even higher. So that's another thing worth noting. But I think Winnipeg is happy with the depth that he gets back. Really fast players like Vermistrov and Grabner, and then obviously a future asset in Schultz, the defenseman.
Yeah.
I believe he's like 4 yellow potential or something like that. So a decent chance of getting to like 83, 84, possibly even higher. And young guys usually have more offensive stats, like they'll have better speed, better shots, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I don't think Winnipeg loses by much because they do get good players in addition to Voracek, but I think Tarasenko is he's one of the best players in the game. So I think New Jersey still has a clear edge here.
Yeah, and especially when you think about the kind of the skill the player has. Tarasenko with New Jersey is just so much more dangerous than Tarasenko with Winnipeg. So I just think like Tarasenko is going to do a ton of damage for New Jersey, whereas like Voracek, Vermistrov, Schultz are not really going to make a splash for Winnipeg, right?
Oh, that's another thing worth pointing out is well, first of all, Winnipeg is he was searching for faster players. He got that at least, but I think it's going to be clear as we move through the season that through a fantasy draft, you're going to have a lot of players that you want to keep, a lot of players that you're happy with having on your team, and Vermistrov and Grabner were examples of that for New Jersey.
Yeah,
very fast forwards that are capable of doing some damage on the even second line, third line, fourth line.
Yeah.
And so those are very valuable players despite being 82 and 83. So New Jersey's not super happy getting rid of them, but if it's to upgrade Voracek and Tarasenko, he'll gladly take it.
Yeah. Stuff. Okay, here we go. Hurdle and Niederreiter. You said you had some stuff to say about this trade. Hurdle's an 85, Niederreiter's an 85. What's going on here?
All right, so this goes back to the Girgensons-Strome kind of deal there, where Strome has better stats, and so that's what kind of evened out the trade. But Strome is not going to grow where Girgensons can. It's the same situation here where Niederreiter is not going to grow. Yeah.
Niederreiter's not going to grow. Hurdle will.
Or at least it's very likely swayed in St. Louis's favor for that reason, because anybody that's been in many leagues in the past will know that Niederreiter, Strome, guys like that, they either grow to be very, very good year one, or they don't grow at all. And Hurdle is kind of in the same boat. However, growing to 85, he still has a chance of growing, so it's not like a landslide victory, because Hurdle doesn't necessarily get to 90 just because he grew in the past offseason, but he likely still has some growth left in him, and you can see him at 88 in the coming season if St. Louis is lucky. And another thing worth noting, this is some knowledge to share with you guys, is although signing longer contracts isn't always the best way to go because of another thing, if you're signing contracts, then you can sign them to 85% of what they ask for, but I believe it's only if you respect the years wanted. Mm-hmm. So if they want $4 million at 2 years, you can offer them 85% of that. But if you're giving them a 1-year contract and then maybe they'll want $4.5 million, then the 85% rule won't work. So you won't always want to give these long contracts, and it's theorized that the long contracts might even hurt growth. But if you look at how much a player wants for a longer contract, that can usually give an indication of whether they'll grow or not. So I personally, re-signed players for Vancouver because he wasn't in town, and and even you seeing Hurdle's contract, you saw it was fairly expensive. That Hurdle wanted all that money, so it's clear to me at least that Hurdle has some more growth in him. If you want to use that as an indication, it's not foolproof once again, but that's another indication that you can use to see if a guy will grow. And so I think St. Louis easily wins this trade actually.
Oh wow, yeah.
But Vancouver is taking Niederreiter because of the stats. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of knowledge dropped on you guys.
It's good.
It's not. Again, I don't have access to like all the ins and outs of the game, but from what I've seen, these are some trends that you can follow.
Mm-hmm.
And, a
lot of
to
experience.
Me, it gives St. Louis exactly. To me, it gives St. Louis an edge in this trade, and any edge you can get is helpful.
Yep. For sure. Okay, so defenseman Letang is traded to the Florida Panthers for center Jordan Staal. I'm going to weigh in here. I think it's a positional swap, so it could definitely, a lot depends on what each team needed, but it looks to me, and I'm not just going on overalls here, but Letang is the better player.
Of course. I mean, it's clear that Letang is the better player, and that's why Florida's making the trade. But one thing to understand is Jordan Staal's individual stats. And you might be wondering what I'm talking about because he's not particularly fast. He doesn't have a great shot. His passing isn't out of this world. And those are usually the stats that you want to look at. But face-offs are huge, and there aren't that many players with super good face-offs. And Jordan Staal has 85 face-offs, which is very good. And that's definitely the entire reason that Vancouver picked up Jordan Staal here. In addition to not being a huge fan of righties, which is what Letang is.
Yeah.
Letang's got a solid contract, about $7.5 million, I believe, about just over 6, I think. So I think I don't think it's a landslide win by any means, but I think an overall difference of 2 it's significant enough, and neither of these players are going anywhere as far as overall goes in the next 3 or 4 years. So yeah, it's a 90 for an 88 at the end of the day, but I think both GMs are happy with what they're getting.
I was looking at Letang's stats, and he got 4 goals last season. And that's all he got, and the rest were assists. He got a ton of assists. I don't know exactly what it is, but he's got, he's got 0 goals this season, 4 assists in 8 games played, and he's a +6, so he's definitely a really, really good defenseman to have. Jordan Staal, 2 goals, 8 assists in 10 games, so he's got definitely more points, but he is the...
As a centerman, you'll usually have the advantage in that kind of area.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, but yeah. No, good stuff. Here's a interesting one is Jarrett Stoll for Timo Meier. So now this is an NHL player for a prospect. What did you think about this one?
I think Edmonton definitely wins this because Stoll, again with the face-off rating, I believe it's 83, something like that.
I'll have the stats pulled up.
Well, either way, he's a fast player. He's a good, reliable center. You can put him on your 3C very very confidently. Send him out there, and you're happy to have him there.
Yeah.
So he's a good player. He's 34 years old. It's just a solid pickup all around. While Timo Meier usually gets to about 80, 81, 82. It's the same sort of range, but in quite a while. I'd say 3, 4 seasons, something like that. So yeah. It's not super quick, and he's not even guaranteed to get that good. He can lag around 76. So the Rangers aren't getting anything guaranteed, and that's usually how it is with prospects, especially Red Star prospects. But I don't think it's it's a minor enough trade, but perhaps he could have gotten more for Stoll. Hard to say.
Yeah. I think Edmonton comes out on top. I don't see Meyer getting to an 82. So
And if he does, it's in a long time. So
yeah, exactly. Prospects do
another
develop.
thing is that there are a few GMs that are really I guess you can't call it a monopoly because there are a few GMs, but a lot of them going for these face-off gurus like Jared Stoll. So they're getting them cheap while they are cheap, but soon enough there might be more GMs that are looking for these face-off gurus like
Yeah.
Jared Stoll.
All right. That's all the trades. Leaderboards. We seen Yager come out of nowhere, takes over first spot with the most points in the league. He has 30 points right now. Bobby Ryan, Buffalo, another really, really good player, 25 points. Malkin. Dallas has two players in the top five, which is pretty substantial, I would say, especially for Dallas. He's definitely making some strides in his skill level and stuff, so it's good to see. You're not far behind. Top five, Patrick Kane. He's been lighting the lamp in Montreal. San Jose. San Jose had a 7-0. They went 7-0 in this last advance. They're feeling hot. I should pull up a quote actually. He's having dreams. Twa, the general manager of the San Jose Sharks, said, "I'm starting to have a dream about the BLHL. Last night I had a dream. Philip Forsberg got to a 92 overall." Philip Forsberg is currently sixth in points in the league with 23. Does he get to a 92?
If only point production affected that, and you see Yager stay until 50 years old at 97 overall.
Yeah. 30 points in, what is that, 12 games? Quick math tells me that is...
I believe it was 12, yeah.
He's on pace for 205 points. So he's going to smash some records here. Look out, Gretzky.
That's exactly 2.5 points a game, I think. I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Important to notice here, it's a little hometown bias, but Tyler Ennis, Calgary, 17 points. He's been playing on the first line. GM's so happy with him. Super fast, super slippery guy. Anything else you want to say about these player leaderboards? We got goals.
I just want to point out that there are 4 Stars players with more points than any Flames players. That's all.
All right. Jesus.
Yeah, there are some you can see with some of these teams. Dallas is kind of an exception because I think he did have a bit of an easier schedule, to be honest. But I think you'll see with a lot of teams that Ryan has 25 points, and then next is Kessler, and I can probably bet that after that there will be another point drop from there. So, there are certain lines that'll produce a little bit more than others.
Yeah,
and that'll kind of like put an exclamation point on some point totals. While other teams aren't as focused on that, and they get a lot more goals with their second or third line, or even their defensemen. So
yeah.
Another thing, certain offenses they'll produce a lot less points with their defensemen as well, and to a certain extent, defensemen will take away points from the forwards. So that's another thing that'll balance out point totals. Well, you can see the one-timer teams like Buffalo and maybe even perhaps Dallas or San Jose. They'll get some more points with their forwards, perhaps. I don't know. Just theorizing, to be honest.
Well, goals against average, Pavlik, 0.83 GAA. Look at those top. Look at those top 3. Even 4.
Yeah.
Takes a big drop to 5, but nevertheless, that's pretty substantial.
Yeah, have dropped since then. You can expect them to all drop at least to 1.2 or something like that for this season, I would say. But yeah, you'll see some guys towards the top as we'll get used to with the standings in general. But,
yeah.
Yeah, they're mostly team stats, if I'm being honest, between goals against average and
Oh
save
yeah,
percentage.
GAA is definitely a team stat, I would say.
Yeah,
But
and with save percentage, it's there are less shots taken in the BLHL than in the mythical NHL. So
yeah,
yeah, you'll see these save percentage stats as less than good, but you gotta understand less shots are taken.
yeah. What about the hot players? We've seen San Jose go 7-0-0, huge. San Jose Sharks are absolutely on fire.
I can say because I played him in the first game of the season and beat him, so that would be a 13 game winning streak.
Yeah, not bad.
Not too
Um,
bad.
New Jersey 12-0, still the only team without a regulation loss. Um, Not surprised. Do we talk about this guy because he just absolutely kills everybody, or do we just skip past him? I don't know.
To talk about this guy, I have more things to say, so we can make that its whole own thing. To be honest,
Okay.
I don't want to dwell on it too much.
Yeah, but I would say a good thing to point out is Detroit made a comeback. They were on the cold list last advance. They went 3-1-3, so that's pretty good for the Red Wings.
I still expect better from him. 3-1-3 isn't enough to really get him into the race, even because if you see the Atlantic is it's a very deep division, so he's gonna have to step it up this season for sure.
Definitely progress though from the first time, but yeah, he's gonna have a
Yeah,
tough time getting in. I don't
yeah,
know.
for sure.
Yeah, Tampa Bay went 5-0-0. That's pretty substantial. No losses. Cold
Yeah,
list. Let's go to the cold list. 2-10-1. Columbus Blue Jackets 0-6-1. They're without a general manager. Arizona's without a general manager. This is what happens when you don't have general managers. Capitals. Capitals are on the cold list. They went 2-3-0. They had a hot start. They're still looking over 500, 6-5-1. They're in a playoff spot. But you know, not not as good as the first schedule period. That's a
it'll
good.
be interesting to see how the team actually averages out because obviously, it was peak performance in week one if you ask me,
Yeah,
um, and so obviously we're waiting to see if this is the standard that we're just kind of reverting to, or if this is going to be a low point, a new standard.
yeah. It's great to see. It's great to see general managers become better. I love seeing that
It's,
stuff.
it's also great to see highlights on the Beaver Lodge Hockey League Instagram.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. If you want to follow the Beaver Lodge Hockey League, head over to the Instagram page here at instagram.com/Beaver Lodge Hockey League. We update daily, probably daily. Stay up to date with all the latest news in the Beaver Lodge Hockey League.
Plenty daily.
This message has been brought to you by Beaver Buzz Energy. That concludes the episode. If you guys want to listen to our podcast, the Beaver Lodge Cast, it's available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Podbean. We release weekly episodes for more content of the Beaver Lodge Hockey League. That's it, and thanks for watching.